Sister Regine, are you with us, my queen? Because I'm going to shut my mouth tonight and listen to the queen of Haiti revolutionary. Come on, sister, how are you doing, my sis? You're on mute, yes.
Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. I'm good. How are you?
Sister, I'm fired up tonight. I am fired up tonight, sister. And it's an honor to have our queen, our beautiful queen with us. Brothers and sisters, this sister here, she has been on the show before. She blew the place down. She's a proud descendant of Haitian revolutionaries. She brings tremendous work and love to what she does. She's an artist, she's an educator, she's a visual anthropologist. She works with the youth in New York. She deals with race, religion, spirituality, and a representation of African practices, bringing us back home to Africa. So, brothers and sisters, this is our queen, my queen. How are you tonight again? One more time. How are you, sister?
I'm good. I'm good. I was just trying to make sure that the sunlight wasn't bedazzling everybody. And
no, we can see you clearly, sister, with no dazzle.
Okay.
With
all right,
no
all right,
dazzle.
all right.
Fantastic. So, yes.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sister. Happy New Year. And you're back in New York now?
I'm in Brooklyn, yes.
Right,
I'm in Brooklyn. Yes.
Fantastic.
So I just want to say thank you so much, Juan, for the work that you're doing. I had a chance to listen in on the presentation that you gave. And I think that what is so key to where we are today is just recognizing that there is a reason why we should all be students of history. Because as students of history, we see much repeats itself, right? So once we understand how much repeats itself, we can prepare ourselves. And so I first want to say honor and respect to you, to the community that you have gathered here, honor and respect to each of us for deciding to come together in this way. Thank you so much, Pauline. Thank you. Thank you so much for everyone deciding to come and gather in this space, in this moment, recognizing that we need this space and time together, that we need to regroup and we need to be able to understand and converse and consider and listen to counsel, listen to wisdom, come out of our own fears, because fears are being projected onto us. We are stressed. Not only are we traumatized people, but then we stress with so much that ain't real. Fear is false evidence appearing real. And that is where we are, friends. We are in a space in which that which we know to be true is now said is not true. That which we have known historically to be true, we're now being told it is not. So can you share the screen with me with my
It's all yours, sister. Share and share away. Sister Jurita already cussed my backside, so I'll change the I'll change the settings so you can share. And we're waiting for you now, my queen. We're waiting for you.
All right, so I want to share this one. I want to share it for the Wawawa diaspora. And okay, I can share my screen. All right, bet.
Fantastic. Jurita's already looking after you, sister.
Wonderful. So I'm going to move this over so we can start sharing. So this is, uh-oh, I did the wrong thing. Y'all see me just slideshow. Okay. So our gathering today is grounded in honor and respect. As a daughter of Haiti, that is the way that we always enter the space. We always enter the space with honor and respect, right? Honor and respect. That is what and who we are. Myself, I want to acknowledge I'm in Brooklyn on the indigenous land of the Lenape-Munsing people. Honor and respect to them. I pay respect to their elders, past and present, and give thanks. I want us to take a moment and consider the lands that we are on. Where are we? Whose lands are we on? Who were the indigenous people there? Hail them up and put it in the chat. Y'all put it in the chat. If you know where the the indigenous people are, put their names in the chat and hail them up. And let's give thanks for where we are able to live and prosper. I put this here because, y'all, let's keep it real now. Let's keep it real with things that we have always known that help us to heal and get better. You know what I'm saying? So that garlic that we always have known, last night I cut up garlic and and it was hard, you know, it is what it is. But at this juncture in my life, I cannot deny that I need to return to that rootical knowledge. I need to return to that rootical space in which I've always known that this helps. So I just want to put that there and say, get your ginger, get your lemon, get your garlic, and heal up yourself. We are, in some ways, how can I say, we are in a battle. We are in a battle for our mental, spiritual, and physical health. So if wherever it is that we are, whether we are on the motherland or whether we are, we might say Babylon, or whether we are in the Caribbean, wherever it is that we are, recognize that we have to take care of ourselves and do what we must. And so Haiti, I would love to hear from all of y'all what you know about Haiti. And as you are typing in the chat, please type in the chat all that you know about Haiti. Just put whatever it is, because we're gonna get into it today. So just put in what you know. And as you put that in, I'm gonna play this for us, because I think, can y'all hear? Did I share my sound? Y'all hear?
No, it's very low.
We can't hear the sound. You know when you're going to share, if you go click those two buttons, the sound button and the video button.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen again, and I'm gonna share my computer sound. And actually, I'll do this here. So you're typing in the chat, wonderful. And I'm gonna share from here. And I think what's important is that as we consider the things that we know about Haiti, you know, there's a lot, unfortunately, that we have been told that may or may not be true. And so actually the song that I would really like to play is this one. This is a good one. This is a good one for us to begin.
Afudai, bila associé, oh frère moi. Associé ou dépassé malassé, ou dou envie ouem, ou est comment moi yé, marele loi racine yo. Marele loi ma pou yo, ou dou gen besoin, nan boute Florida, sa ki pa vle moi. Yo met fè sa yo vle, an ou nou gen bezwen mwen, nan boute Florida sa ki pa vle mwen, ya voye m nan mache la.
I'm loving this, sister.
I just wanted to play it just for a minute.
I'm loving that tune. I
Yes.
thought Africa coming out of me just then.
That's right. That's right. And what I want us to do is I want us to take a moment and do what we did in Haiti to get to this place that I could be with you today, right? When we have to understand when we are bigging up those who came before us, We have to understand that if they didn't do what they did, then we couldn't gather in this space at this time. All of us from all of our very generational backgrounds, we all converge. And I want you to just take a moment and I want you to pick up your right foot. Okay, wherever you are, you don't have to get up. I'm gonna play this music and I want you to pick up your right foot and I want you to put your foot down and I want you to twist it and I want you to twist your foot on them haters, okay? I want you to twist your foot on people who tried to take your freedom, all right? And anyone, it doesn't matter, you could make it whoever you want to be. You could talk about illness, put your foot on it. Yes, okay. Put your foot and twist. And thank you. I see you, Adrian. Yes, I see you, Kaz. Yes, yes. This is what it's about. Okay, today you might have had a different presentation that you thought was finna happen, but I got to tell y'all this is what it is. Okay, it's just gonna be this. I'm sorry, y'all finna get what y'all finna get, and sometimes we have to put our foot down and smash anything, anybody that is trying to take away your freedom. Plain and simple. That's all that it's ever been. And so I'm going to share up from my other computer now and continue on with my presentation. And this is another song that I'll play for y'all another time. Because I didn't share my sound on this, but it's okay. We will move on. And that's basically a challenge. It's basically a challenge that young people did with some music about put some respect on my name. And I love it. I love integrating what's happening with young folks. I love the dances and the challenges and integrating it into where we are today. And so what's important is that you always put respect on the name of Haiti. Always put respect on Haiti's name. You feel me? Because it is from that point of people willing to sacrifice their life, not whether or not I take the vaccine, don't take the vaccine, should I do this? No, we're talking about fighting for your life.
Sister Regine, say it again. Say it again, man.
Come on now. It's a fight in which we have lost our way. If we think we're fighting for justice now and we don't understand that history is repeating itself, then we lost. Come on now, I want y'all to take a trip with me, right? When the Black Panthers in the United States were organizing and taking care of their community because the government of the United States did not care about Black and brown people, continued to exploit them, they gathered and collected and said, no, we gonna take care of our own. But the way the Black Panthers were portrayed as criminals, so that when the United States government, FBI, COINTELPRO, CIA, when they decided that they was gonna, just run up and assassinate people for organizing and speaking truth, there were so many people in our community, Black and brown, who believed what the media said about the Black Panthers. I need you to understand, there were many people who could not hear anything different than what the media said. Then there were others in their community who knew that the Black Panthers were not doing wrong. They were simply trying to organize their people to a place of freedom. They were being accountable to the community in which they were in. They were the ones that started the free breakfast program that the United States government eventually took and replicated. But they didn't ever give no credit to the Black Panthers.
Teach.
And so when we think historically about the time with the way in which the Black Panthers were portrayed, and folks didn't know because they were caught up in what the media and the newspaper said, and then though they assassinated people and killed them and terrorized and infiltrated our organizations, some of us believe and didn't believe. When Black people tell you what's happening, you are a conspiracy theorist. But Black people know it's true. The problem is when you speak your truths, a lot of people don't want to hear it because it's like, well, I never saw that. I don't know. But then guess what? We got our telephones, we got our devices. And so we started recording, we started sharing our stories. That's how, 2020, the horror of 2020, a young lady filmed a police officer assassinating, killing a brother by the name of George Floyd. But anyway, I digress. I'm gonna go back to what I'm saying about the Black Panthers. So in that time period, there were many people who were afraid of the Black Panthers because of what they saw in the media. But where are we today? Are we in the same place that the media has taken away our cognitive ability to reason and to know truth? I'm just saying, where are we today? Are we repeating history? That which when we know what our community is doing, we know what's happening, we see the good, we see the problems, we can be accountable to each other, but yet we're unable to do that because everything that we've been told, all of the static all around us is taking away from what we know to be true. But here's what's crazy for me. Today, we can have a film about the Black Panthers. We can have a film about Fred Hampton. People can get nominated and win awards for their acting about Fred Hampton, but couldn't nobody actually live and be Fred Hampton? You see, we give awards to people who act like revolutionaries, But when they were the actual revolutionary on the vanguard, what happened? So I'm kind of weaving in and out. I put this question forward: what important lesson in freedom and self-determination can we learn from the Haitian independence of 1804? And I'm going to the Black Panthers in the United States, and I'm going into the media, and then I'm coming back and I'm trying to bring us to 2022 where we're at. And I want us to return. And so we got this fluid experience happening. So, stay with me. How are we today able to discern and understand if you are repeatedly told that what you know to be true is a conspiracy theory, then who are you? I mean, who are you? Who are you actually? Because the experiences that Black and Brown people have are often ones that have experienced tremendous oppression and trauma. And until we speak our truth and speak what we know to be true, then it's as if it's never happened. The Haitian independence is one in which there's so many layers to it. But at the core, the Haitian independence was about African people, the indigenous people who were still alive, mixed people coming together and deciding that they were no longer going to be enslaved. They were no longer going to be terrorized. They were no longer going to be in a place where they could not be their full selves. And that's the bottom line. That's the beginning of the story. And so how did that occur? How did it reach a point where people were like, very much like today, having to make decisions about their life, about, about what's happening in this current moment. There's so much that's happening. If we look at the Haitian Revolution as an example for us, we can see that the Haitian Revolution, though it was had tremendous benefits, that the backlash was one of continued struggle. The state that Haiti is in today is one in which there is tremendous magic, power, beauty, horror, sadness. I mean, it's just this whole spectrum, because part of what we're looking at is we're looking at a nation that has never been allowed, okay, because of these outside forces, to fully develop as an independent nation. And I want us to consider, what does it mean in our own lives, in our lives that we're living? Are we living as fully actualized beings? Are we still a slave to a system? Are we still a slave to a way of being that doesn't actually serve us, but we're so caught up in it that we can't get out? Are we too afraid to step outside of this, this matrix that we're in, and to be able to see a new way of being? I think one of the things that's really significant to think about around freedom is the courage that it takes to stay on track, to hold your vision, though everyone else around you may not agree. What courage it takes to remain sovereign, from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. What does it take to remain sovereign? Please put it in the chat. I want to hear, what does it take to remain sovereign? What do we need? What does it take to remain sovereign? DJ Supreme says unity, consent, understanding of self, sacrifice, independence, know thyself, solidarity, self-sustaining, love, land, truth, peace, harmony, knowing who we are and where we come from, righteous, ma'at, thank you. Yes, we need Mama Ma'at in this. We need, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mental strength. Yo, you ain't lying there. You ain't lying. That's exactly what we need. Separation, teach our children who they were, who they are, freedom. I wanted to share this with you. This is a quote from Milan Kundera, who was a Czechoslovakian writer who was living in exile in France. And he writes, the first step in liquidating a people is to erase its memory, destroy its books, its culture, its history. Then have somebody write new books, manufacture a new culture, invent a new history. Before long, the nation will begin to forget what is and what it was. The world around it will forget even faster. The struggle of man against power is the struggle of memory against forgetting. And that is from a Czechoslovakian writer, Milan Kundera. And I want us to consider what exactly that means and why it's so important that we have these types of discussions. Because there is a place in which we have to keep our own memory. We have to be actively engaged in remembering what was. The current situation that we're in today, there's so much that we're taught to be true about health, about so many things. And yet within a year and a half, all of those things are now said to not be true. the things that you know to be true in your body, in your spirit, that is what we need to reconnect to. I wanted to put this out too, in respect to Bell Hooks for her brilliance and everything that she's brought to us. She says, I will not have my life narrowed down. I will not bow down to somebody else's whim or to someone else's ignorance. And I wanted to share that because I feel that that's where we are today. We're in a place where we are being forced in many ways to live outside of the true knowledge that we have of self, to live outside of our collective community. And we're pushed into this place of bowing down. Remember when I was just playing that music, right? That music from Haiti, that music of power, the drums, and I said, you got to pick up your foot and smash. That's what we got to do on a regular basis. You know, sometimes we have to recognize that there are people, there are entities, there are forces, there are organizations, there are beings, entities that really don't care about you. And so what's important for me in thinking and considering the Haitian Revolution and what's significant is that a big part of what happened on the island is that there was a unified mission, and it was half of the island. There was a unified mission of people coming together for freedom. There were people that decided that this has to stop. And one of the gatherings that happened was a gathering that took place on the 13th and 14th of August in 1791. And that gathering was basically one in which it was a Congress first, where there were generals, there were Maroons that had been living up in the hills. As soon as they could, they escaped and went to the mountains. There were enslaved Africans. There were people who were mixed that were of African and French or of Spanish mixed heritage. And they were here in this gathering because they agreed that this had to stop. This Congress was a very powerful gathering, was very powerful and very significant because it was a gathering much like the gatherings that Brother Andrew is doing here of people of mixed beliefs. They often, when the stories that are told about Haiti, it's often one in which there's so many stories that are told currently that continue to negate what Haiti actually is. And so as a daughter of Haiti, I need to set the record straight. That Congress that happened in 1791 was a gathering of people of many different faiths. There were many different nations represented. There were many different languages that were spoken. But there was a fundamental understanding that we had to come together and we have to strategize. We have to do whatever is necessary for our freedom. And so there, of course, was Africans of many faiths. As I said, there was Cecile Fatima, who was, the story of Cecile Fatima is one that says that she was of mixed heritage and that she was able to move between multiple stratas in Haitian life then. And she was known to be a practitioner of traditional African religion called voodoo. There was also Imam Bookman, who was known to be a Muslim, who was known to carry the Quran. There were those that may have taken on the Christian faith, I don't know. But those that gathered were clear that their God, that their timing had come, and all of them from different faiths came together. And I think one of the things that's important when we think about the independence of 1804 was we today in 22 are having issues of gender equity. But here we are in this gathering of 1791, where one of the leaders was a woman. And she is a woman and a traditionalist and practitioner of traditional African religion. Next to her is also another leader, one in which a leader who has had his faith, but could gather with others of different faiths, unified strategically for their freedom. When we allow differences to separate us, we have lost. The Haitian Revolution is one in which we have to understand that people gathered of all faiths and decided on that night that this is where we're beginning. The only way we could get to 1804 from 1791, 14 years, is that people had to fight their own biases about their neighbor.
No. Sister Regine, no. Beloved, you're taking us back to church tonight. Sister Regine, no. Sister, please, I don't care what anyone says about what I'm saying to you now. Please teach us here, because tonight is about Kuji Chagalia, self-determination. Yes. Sister, you are teaching from the soul tonight. Please, I'm saying it for the people at the back. Say it one more time. I'm serious, sister. Say it one more time, dear.
I don't know what I said. What did I say?
Come on, man. We came together. We had to fight even our differences, man. Come on, man. I don't want the words in your mouth.
Yes, our differences, our biases. Yes.
Come on.
I mean, it's at a point that we are, if we can take a benefit from looking at history. As I started, when I first came on, I said we have to remain students of history so that we can see what we need to do. There are benefits for us. There are errors that were made, but there are things, so many things that we can learn from. And one of the first, if you can think about it and consider, are people who are living oppressed lives, physically oppressed lives, physically laborious lives where they could not even live long because they were out there cutting cane.
Wow, Sister Regine, J.J. Walker just stated, best show guest ever, you. We've had some bad people on this show, sister. And JJ saying best, you're killing it. Come again.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I think what's most important, and thank you, Andrew, for highlighting that, is that if we stay caught up in our biases, right? As you mentioned at the very beginning, you said, I invite everybody, we need to come together. I'm not concerned about your sexuality. I'm not concerned about this, that. What I'm concerned about is our collective liberation. That is what, number one, that's key. What does it mean for you yourself to be free, but then to allow others, right? That we have to recognize that there are some people, that's the state that they want to be in. The Haitian Revolution, there were many that tried and betrayed those that decided to fight. There were many people who got lost along the way. 14 years of fighting, there are many that fought for and always for the liberation. Always. And I think that one of the things that's hard today, and seeing all of the chaos that's happening currently in Haiti, is that literally it's a cycle. It's like it's a beaming example of what has happened there and is happening in other places. For Haiti to be still suffering from poor leadership, from Haiti to still be suffering in a way in which they cannot govern themselves, is not a reflection. It's not only a reflection of the state of the current state of what's happening to the people, their level of violence, all of that it's real, but also that Haiti has systemically been attacked. which is difficult to consider, that if the tenets of the revolution had continued after, I don't think Haiti would be in the state that it's in today. One of the things that's really important about that Congress is the ceremony that took place. The ceremony that took place was a spiritual ceremony where everyone present agreed and called on their God in that moment, called on their ancestors, and agreed that freedom at all costs. I don't think we really know what that means today. I don't think we really know what it means, freedom at all costs. What does that mean? We can't even, once we go on the internet, we can't even, stay focused once we get on Instagram or Facebook and I'm telling you myself, I had to take the app off of my phone because I was wasting too much time. When the state that we're in, where so many of our loved ones are dying unexpectedly, like we've been through a lot of trauma and stress during these past year and a half. How do we recenter ourselves? How do we recenter ourselves in understanding what is important for us at this moment? Putting aside our biases, our differences, coming together. There was no one that was denied in coming to that gathering because of their religion. One of the things that the Africans fought for was the right to be able to worship their own. That alone is one of the most significant parts of the Haitian Revolution, of being able to say that we are going to worship our God. I want you all to remember that whatever faith that you have now, or lack of faith, was not necessarily the way of our African brothers and sisters at that time. People were very connected to nature. People were very connected to their ancestors. People were very connected to their God, to their deities, and allowing others, remember, because people were taken from different parts of the continent, allowing people to have their way. They weren't fighting each other because of each other's religious belief. They were being killed because of their own practice. If there was someone that was caught on the island of, in the country of what is now Haiti, ruled by first the Spaniards, then the French, and everybody else wanted to put their hands in it, was something called Les Codes Noirs. Les Codes Noirs, the Black Codes, was a way in which the French ruled over the island. And one of the tenets that was very important was that the Africans could not practice their religion. If any were caught practicing anything outside of Christianity, they can be beaten, publicly beaten. Their hands could be chopped off. There was such cruelty that happened when people practiced their own religion, that it created a level of fear in people to be able to be fully themselves. That fear is still ingrained. If you can imagine, if we have generational trauma that seeps through us, is that fear of being ourselves, whatever that may mean. That's one of the things that I want you to consider. What Black people were fighting for then was being able to see themselves as reflections of God. And in that reflection of being God-like, right, and recognizing this is not my life, I'm a slave. Hell no, I ain't been to be no slave. I have a right to be free. And so taking that proclamation and making it true was one of the most valiant stances in all history at that time. The Haitian independence was a loud declaration of I am free. A loud declaration of I am. That alone, I am. That alone within itself was one in which that changed the history of the world. I want to share a little something else, and then I have so many things that I could talk about that I don't want to dominate the space. But, and I'm not sure how long I've been talking, so please let me know, Brother Muhammad. I'm going to share my screen.
This is some damn good teaching, brothers and sisters. As I said, this is our first show for 2022. Teach, sister, teach. We've got about 10 to 15 minutes left, beloved, but just teach. It's beautiful what you're doing tonight.
So one of the things that I want us to understand, and whether or not you knew this before, and there's always things that I'm learning. I'm gonna tell you straight up, as a student, I'm always learning. One of the things that we can take from self-determination and the fight for freedom of the Haitian Revolution is that the African people did not just stop at their own. They did not just stop at their own freedom. They took their mission to the whole island. And there was a time for 22 years where the whole island was free.
Woo!
Absolutely. I want you to dig into the history of yourself, but the other part of the island, Dominican Republic, they had a problem with having Black leadership. They were accustomed to being enslaved by the Spaniards, and they fought with the Spaniards to get the Haitians out. I just want y'all to understand how messed up. So while the whole island, and I'm not saying that the leadership of the African people was like the best or the worst, but there were 22 years where they fought off the West, they fought off the French, they fought off the Spaniards, they fought off the British, they fought off the Americans. I just want you to think, how did these people do this? 22 years. And then having half of the island deciding, no, we don't want y'all Black folks ruling us. We prefer the Spaniards. It's a crazy history. But I'm sharing this because these countries adopted the Haitian flag in honor of the help they got in their independence. Colombia, Ecuador, and Venezuela. Because each of these nations benefited by going and learning guerrilla warfare, by going and getting Africans and support from the nation of Haiti. And so there are so many ways in which I can go. I think what's most significant for me that I want all of you to know is that when we think about the Haitian Revolution, when we think what self-determination means, a big part of that is, how do you see yourself? How are you connected to your own God consciousness, awareness? Are you living your life the best that you can? Are you enslaved to an idea, a concept that doesn't serve you, to a way of being that is not really helping you or your family? And if we recognize that, how do we get out of that? One of the ways that we get out of that is that we have to build community. We have to actively be with others that understand the movement. If you want to be on the vanguard of what the shift that needs to happen, you have to actually change your way of being. The Haitian Revolution did that. What many people don't know, and I think we might have talked about this the last time I came, is that the United States benefited from the Haitian Revolution, in that a third of what is now the United States, which was a part of the Louisiana Purchase, happened because of the Haitian Revolution. You can look it up yourself. France, after fighting it with these Africans, these determined Africans, for 14 years, sold Louisiana, which was from what is now Chicago all the way down, right? A third of the middle part of the United States, sold that in 1803 to the United States. What is now the contiguous United States did not exist in 1803. Just what a lot of people don't understand, how we see the United States today, that's a very new phenomenon. France sold Louisiana because of their coffers being run dry, fighting these Africans who are not giving up in their battle for freedom. And so I think what's really important for me as a daughter of the Haitian Revolution, as a daughter of liberators, is for us to always remember that the journey, we don't know how long the journey is going to be. But if we are gathered with those who also understand the mission, then we can help each other when the other gets weak and tired. We can be accountable to the community that we're a part of because we agree that we are moving toward freedom together. That unity is what's one of the most significant things for us to consider and to remember. So I want to open the space to any questions or anything that y'all might want to talk about.
Wow, 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 sister. Oh my gosh, beloved, this was teaching from the heart today. It was blessings, brothers and sisters. Wow, please, brothers and sisters, show the sister. If you felt what the sisters spoke about tonight, drop the ones. You know it, drop the ones. Because to me personally, that was it. And I did not know about, I didn't connect the Ecuadorian flag, the Venezuelan flag. You know what I'm trying to say? The Colombian. I didn't connect, sister. This was teaching tonight. This was absolute teaching tonight. Wow, wow, wow. Brother and sister, you're so succinct and so on point, my queen. This is no joke. You're so succinct and so on point, my queen. I don't know whether there will be any questions. Brothers and sisters, if you have any questions, please put it in the Q&A box for our queen, because it was just murderation, absolute murderation in the house tonight. If you've got any questions, please, please, please drop it right now in the Q&A box. I can see one question. Let's have a look. Because sister, it was just magnificent. Sister, how did the assassination of Dessalines impact Haiti?
The assassination of Dessalines tremendously impacted Haiti, and if we can just consider that it was a year after declaring Haiti independent, it took away our emperor, right? So if you can think about it, having fought on the vanguard for 14 years to get to a place of independence, declaring independence, and not only declaring independence, but printing out Declaration of Independence and sending it out to all of the Caribbean, all of the Americas. Can you imagine being free, but also knowing how important it was that your freedom was known by others? And so you print out your Declaration of Independence and you send it out. That was a part of the brilliance of Dessalines. The brilliance of someone who had a vision, and to say, not only what are we doing here significant, but the whole world needs to know. Remember earlier when I said, pick up your right foot, put your foot down, and
that's it. That's it.
Okay, remember when I said that?
Yes.
That's what Papa Dessalines did. Papa Dessalines said, hell no. Put his foot down, fought for 14 years, and assassinated, unfortunately, a year after Haiti's independence. It was devastating.
Wow, wow, wow. I hear you, my queen. Sister June has asked, is this history taught in the USA education system?
Honey, let me tell y'all something. Do y'all heard about critical race theory? That they trying to take everything that happened here, including what happened to indigenous people, out of the school system? Ain't nobody talking about anything that makes sense. I was a New York City teacher. I definitely brought all of it, and I'm not saying that educators do not. There are powerful educators here in the United States, but in the sense of the book that is being given, the history books, I was never taught the other side about the Louisiana Purchase. I learned about the Louisiana Purchase in school. No one ever connected that to the Haitian Revolution and said, because these Africans, these valiant Africans, fought so hard for their independence, that the United States grew. The United States grew and became this contiguous space. Come on now.
Come on.
I didn't learn that until I went to a historically Black college, big up to the HBCUs, and began deeper study. Yeah, I did not. And you know what's crazy is that there are many Haitians that may know that history, and they may know quite a bit about what happened on the revolution, but how expansive the Haitian Revolution is. It was a global phenomenon. I just want you to think about Africans, oppressed, traumatized Africans standing their ground, changed the whole world.
Come on.
Changed the whole
Come
world.
on.
And in this moment, we often are afraid to stand our ground. We have history of valiant warriors for us to turn to. Life is not permanent. We already get over the fear of death. I mean, it hurts. Of course, we don't want to die, this, that. But if that is the reason why you keep yourself enslaved, my brothers and sisters, come now.
Brothers and sisters, this is Sister Regine Romain. Sister Joe. I don't know if that's our Jojo. If it is you, Jojo, please send me a message of your email address, because you're one of the winners last week. But Sister Joe says, fantastic teaching, Queen Regine. Could you share details of the track you played at the beginning when you done the foot twisting?
Absolutely. I'm gonna put it in the chat. All right.
Brothers and sisters, she's gonna put it in the chat. She's gonna put it in the chat. Sister Sonia Williams has asked the question: is the revolution taught in Haitian schools, Haiti schools? Is this history taught in the schools in Haiti?
Absolutely, the history is definitely taught in the schools. It's definitely taught, and it's where we stand in our pride. That's one of the reasons why when you meet a Haitian may not have all the details, but January 1st, we celebrate. We have our soup jumu, which is our traditional soup that we celebrate our independence. And you know, the thing that's also important is the fear that so many have about traditional African religion, is that some try to twist that there's shame in what enslaved and terrorized people did. And really, to be quite honest, there isn't anything that anyone did that was wrong. When we are taught about the glories of World War II and what had to be done, there was death, there were bombs being dropped, there were all types of things for the glory of Europe and defeating, you know, Hitler, right? So Hitler was the bad person, and so everything had to happen to defeat and to have freedom again. But yet, when we go into the histories of Black people, we're taught that what Black people did was wrong. How is that so?
How is that so?
How is that so? How is it when Black people gathered and said, no, 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 we're gonna put down the white man God, because the Bookman prayer is the one that we want. Maybe I'll close with that. I'll bring it up for us. And I want us to hear Bookman's prayer.
Come on, sister.
All right, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that for us.
Last two questions. We've got so many questions for you, to be honest with you, but you know you're coming back again by the will of God. You know we love you in the UK, sister. We love you in the UK.
Thank you.
Sister Aubrey's asked the question to you. Can the people of Haiti get the money back that you had to pay the Europeans for your own freedom? Is there any way of getting that money back, sister?
You know, I think that is the number one plight that Haitian should. It's to me, it's one of the biggest that should be gathered and fought for. When we're thinking about everyone today trying to be quote unquote politically correct, when we think about, you know, this quote unquote reconciliation or any acknowledgement, that needs to come with the paper. Okay, I'm talking about reparations. I'm talking about return of resources. That's what needs to happen. Myself, I don't care about a president apologizing for what they did. What I want is the paper. Put some respect on my name and put some paper, okay?
Come on.
What y'all have done is y'all have stolen, okay?
Come on.
Resources have stolen. You've stolen people, you terrorize people, but now you want to be politically correct. You want to act like you're doing good all over the world. You're doing so much good, then pay up.
Come on, brothers and sisters, this is the hidden truth. Sister Regine Romain is with us, And I told you at the beginning, 2022, do your own thinking. That's why you need to come on the Hidden Truth Show. You know you're not getting a show like this anywhere else. This show challenges you. And that's what the sister's done tonight, brothers and sisters. Sister Regine, the last thing I'm going to touch base with you on, because sister, oh my God, beloved, you have absolutely, just your heart, just your spirit, just the way you're so eloquent. It's just so beautiful listening to you, our queen. I just want to just touch with you because it's funny that we've had this show today. And sister, on the news, just I think this must have been yesterday or the day before, we see that literally, and it wasn't even on major news, sister, but you know, someone, I've got to thank Sister Kareem for sending me this, about the Haitian MP scrambles to safety as gunmen attempt to kill him at a church just 5 months after the president was assassinated. For anyone who didn't see it, this is the news clipping. Wow. And that wasn't even on the, and so I read an Instagram post, and many Haitians that accept that Haiti is still not independent are saying Bon Combat, which means happy fighting instead of Happy New Year. They understand the need to continue resisting to free Haiti from the US, the UN, the core group, colonial apparatus continues in 2022. What do you say to that, sister? What do you say to that, sister?
What do I say? Oops, sorry.
That the revolution's still not over.
Can you
Did you see the clip I just showed?
I saw the clip, but the last part, can you?
Okay, I'll share that with you again, my queen. No worries. But someone just said this. Many Haitians that accept that Haiti is not independent are saying Bon Combat, which means happy fighting instead of Happy New Year. They understand the need to continue resisting to free Haiti from the US, the UN, the core group, the colonial apparatus continues in 2022 and beyond. What say you?
Yeah, she's speaking truth. There's no lie there. There's absolutely no lie there. What we're looking at, and this is the reason why I say that as students of history, we have to be able to take what is good and what worked, and we have to see where the mistakes were made. There is so much that we can learn from the Haitian Revolution because it transformed the world. In essence, there were tons of revolts happening all over where enslaved people were. But that revolution was one that changed the world so much that you have people who are still hating on Haiti. They are still angry. They are still upset at the arrogance of Black and brown people in claiming their freedom. And so when we understand that mindset, when we understand that that mindset exists, then we understand the policies that come. We understand how folks can come in after an earthquake has happened, corporations coming in and taking out Haiti's natural resources under the guise of helping, putting puppet governments in place to allow the country to continue to be raped and the people there still suffering. Haiti is an example for us, those of us in the present that understand the significance of its history, to see what went wrong. And a big part of it is the place in which outside forces continue to dominate and terrorize the people. And then with that trauma, what happens to people in that space? What happens to Black and brown people who have lost their minds and are shooting and killing and kidnapping people? Because that's also us.
Yes.
I'm not in a space of saying everything that's happening is outside of us. I wouldn't lie to you and say, it's this person, that person, it's the white man, it's the this, it's the that. I'm not going to tell you that all of that may not be a factor.
Yes.
But we have lost our way because we have lost our sense of unity and accountability. That place of self-determination that brought us together collectively to fight for 14 years for our freedom, it was significant, but we were not able to hold it together. When we get so caught up in dynamic leadership and want that leadership to teach us everything, that's part of where we're lost. You yourself are your first leader. Your body is your first altar. There is no altar first, but to yourself and how you care for yourself. If you can't think for yourself, then any leader can lead you astray.
You gotta think for yourself. Oh, brothers and sisters, the love coming in for this queen. Oh my gosh, Brother Simon Mohammed, who's just in Trinidad, say you have blown the roof off tonight, sister. Anne-Marie says fire that. I mean, we got some real hardcore brothers and sisters. Is it Solar Energy says, Sister Regine, you are fire. I see you. Joanne says a big thank you to you, Queen. Michelle says Queen Regina. I mean, it goes on, brothers and sisters. This is our first show of 2022, and I hope and pray that you've taken food away. Be your own thinker. Understand who you are. Sister Regine, me and you are going to be talking after, because we need you on number 3. You are definitely going to be one of the daughters, not just of Haiti, you're going to be one of the daughters of us on the Hidden Truth in the UK, sister. And we will touch base. Brothers and sisters, one more time. I know there's some more questions coming through, but time is against us. Brothers and sisters, one more time. If you love Sister Regine and you want her to come back, drop down Buffalo Soldier. Buffalo Soldier. No, Regine, don't laugh, man. Buffalo Soldier.
Amen. Come with it. But I wanted to play the last bit of Bookman's prayer. Can I play that for you?
Please.
All
Please.
right.
Brothers and sisters, before we finish, Buffalo Soldier, our sister's gonna play a clip of the Bookman prayer. This is 2022, and we love Bookman.
Okay, here we are.
Yes, my queen.
The shouting, the singing, and fervor of that powerful night of ceremony. I remember her saying that Papa Legba, guardian trickster of the crossroad, is always called upon to open the gateway between heaven and earth.
Afutaï, bila bila, les moun da fâché kote chita. Manger les basou di fe la boucané. Service là va commencer. Manger les basou di fe la boucané. Service là va commencer. Devant baye, c'est l'homme de ses vêtements manéa pour faire service royal.
Almighty God who created the earth, who created the sun that gives us light, God who holds up the ocean, who makes the thunder roar, our God who has ears to hear. Bon Dieu qui fait la terre, qui fait soleil là qui éclaire nous. Bon Dieu qui secoue la mer, qui fait l'oreille gronder. Bon Dieu nous qui gen oreilles pour tendre. Ou même qui cache dans nuage yo, k'ap gade nous koto ye là. Ou est tout ça blanc fen sibi. Dieu blanc yo mande bois sang nous. You see all that the white man has made us suffer? The white man's God directs him to commit crimes, but the God within us wants to do good. Our God, who is so good, so just, orders us to revenge our wrongs. It's He who will direct our arms and will bring us victory. It's He who will assist us. We all should throw away the image of the white man's God who is so pitiless. Listen, my sisters and brothers. Listen to the voice of liberty that sings in all our hearts. Aïe Bobo.
Aye, bobo.
Wow. Wow, sister. What a way, sister. I need that. And before you go, sister, brothers, sisters, please again, make some noise for our sister. Sister, how can we find that? How can we, if people want to connect with you, people want to get your books, your products, how can they contact you, sister?
All right, I'm gonna put it in the chat. I will put it in the chat. You can go to my website. Brother Andrew, I'm gonna be starting a movement program, a yoga and movement program where we heal ourselves. I will be launching that this month. I also want folks to know that it is important that we move our body. We need to listen to sounds that help us to remain calm and centered, but we also need to create playlists that give us the fire that we need. Sometimes we need support. And so as an artist, and I am an artist, I understand how important it is that we continue to create revolutionary art so that we can support ourselves in this times of battle. So make your playlist, get yourself some powerful drum music, and every now and again, play that music, pick up your right foot and put your foot down on them haters.
Sister, we're gonna, as I say, we're gonna be bringing you back on by the will of Allah, by the will of God, Yahweh, Jehovah, Shango,
Ashe.
Kulumkulo. Yeah, we're gonna be bringing you back on, brothers and sisters. Do you want this queen to come back onto Hidden Truth? And maybe we come from a different direction. She just mentioned about the direction of yoga. She just mentioned about the playlist. She mentioned about movement, revolutionary. Do we want that back? Don't tell me. Put it on the chat room. Let the sisters see that Brother Andrew's not massaging her ego. I am being truthful that we want this sister back on the Hidden Truth show. You're not going to get this sister anywhere else. We're exclusive with this sister, man. And we're going to literally show the love and the light. Follow the sister, hit her up. She's giving you her details, okay? And we're going to have a great time. Brothers and sisters, this is the Hidden Truth show. I pray that you've enjoyed it. This is our first show for 2022. We say happy Independence Day. Keep the fighting going. From Andrew Mohammed in London, Sister Regine Romain in the USA, and the daughter of Asian revolutionaries. This is our special Hidden Truth today. We made it special tonight. So we have gone over time. But it was our first for the year. And don't forget, brothers and sisters, we want to give a shout out to Brother Leon Oldstrong, our creative young Black director. Keep supporting his GoFundMe page. Brothers and sisters, let's give a shout out to Brother Errol. It was his first time on the Hidden Truth show today. He was magnificent. Brother, a powerful brother doing great works in the community. And let's spread his track, not another one. We're going to be playing it later on in our after party. You know we have an after party too, brothers and sisters. So you know it. But this was our keynote speaker tonight. This was the keynote speaker tonight, brothers and sisters. And I know you felt this, sister, just like I felt this, sister. Absolutely. We don't play on Hidden Truth. We don't play. We're grassroots. We are hardcore. But guess what, man? We love life. We love life. And we support anything positive going on amongst our people. Brothers and sisters, I want to give a shout out to Sister, oh no, Sister Oswald. I forgot Alicia. Oh, but I know our sister, I know she's tuning in all the way from Gambia. So we say to her and her son, we thank you, we thank you, we thank you. Give the love to our Gambian brothers and sisters. Let them know that we love them here in the UK and around the world, brothers and sisters. And don't forget, next week, if Sister Regine has come on this program and destroyed and blown the roof off, we've got to come with another hardcore sister. Can you imagine? We're starting 2022 and it's sisters leading the way. Next week, brothers and sisters, we've got Lady Ma'at. Oh my goody gumdrops. Lady Ma'at is back with us after months and months and months of doing preparation work. She is back with us next week. The truth, fears, no lies, the critical theory breakdown of Western ideology. So if you heard Sister Regine tonight, Link that up with Sister Lady, my aunt, next week. And I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, you're in a good place. And don't forget, brothers and sisters, on the 21st of January, we're going to make you think for yourselves. We're going to break down. You saw some of it tonight. We're going to go The Matrix meets Dune. And Dune, no one really talks about Dune, but we're going to show you that these messages are all powerful, brothers and sisters. So literally, we've got the breakdown. We have got the breakdown for you next week. In fact, I'm going to put the link again. If you want tickets and join us on these tickets, brothers and sisters, and to spread the word, you know, my events are normally sold out. I've just put the link again in the chat room. Hit your tickets up tonight, brothers and sisters.
Yes.
This is going to be The Matrix versus Dune. I don't
Brother
know how
Andrew.
many people. Huh?
Brother Andrew, Leonard Phillips says, he says to you, Brother Andrew, we should have our matriarchs lead us for all of January.
Yes. You know what?
That's
feeling
the
that,
word
Brother
on
Leonard.
the street, brother.
I'm feeling that, Brother Leonard. My God, you got me in trouble tonight in front of 500, 600, 700, 800 people on the platform. I'm going to see what I'm going to try to do. I've really planned some things already, but I agree, Brother Leonard. Sister Regine has set the year off. I wanted Sister Regine to start the year, and I wanted Lady Ma'at to follow her, because these are two queens that teach on a way that many people can't teach, male or female. So I hear you, Brother Leonard. I hear you. And if you like to keep supporting the platform, brothers and sisters, you know there's no platform that's getting over 800 people on a weekly basis. There must be something that we're saying or doing that is waking up